What's up, world? Welcome back to A Good Hurt the Podcast. This is episode 3, and I got 2 guests this time. I normally have 1, but today we got Mr. Lou Alexander with us. He was in season 1. I can't remember what episode it was, but it was No Smoke and Mirrors. It was probably like episode 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lou Alexander from episode 3 or 4, and Coach Drew Ray from episode 2. 1 or 2?
1.
Episode 1. All right, so we got 2 guests back from first season, and we got some new topics we want to discuss. So as always, thanks for joining, and sit back, relax, and enjoy. With that being said, we'll go ahead and let you guys tell the audience a little bit about yourself. We'll start with you, Lou.
Yes.
And then we'll move forward from there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So Lou Alexander, it's funny because I always go back and forth of where I'm from and kind of what I represent. But originally from Linwood, California, I actually moved to Palmdale my junior year of high school. So it's funny because I graduated from Palmdale, from Highland High School in Palmdale, but now originally and landed in Woodland Hills, California. So out here, man, just really trying to pave the way, inspiration, and I'm not going to even say trying, doing, inspiring, really just kind of setting my mission to uplift and uphold a certain standard, I think, as a black man of so much integrity. So, it's a lot to it, man, but you'll get into the story as we go, but I appreciate you always having me, big dog.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
I can't do it without you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach up, you up?
Coach Drew, I'm back. Jersey kid, live in California. I moved out here a while ago playing football, live in Palmdale. So we right there, and we down here in Woodland Hills about to, get to know some more. I'm just happy to keep influencing these kids and the people that's around, trying to make everybody great, man. That's really about it. That's what we're about. Better in the community, man. And
okay. And if you noticed, Mr. Lou Alexander almost used that word try, but then he decided to
no try.
Oh yeah, no try.
Facts,
We're doing.
Facts,
We're
definitely.
doing.
No try, definitely doing.
Okay. So getting started, let's talk about some of the things that that motivate you, because you speak about yourself, both you guys motivating the kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. So what's something that makes you feel alive? What takes you to that top level, top level Drew and top level Lou?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, man, my last name is really what motivates me first. That's the foundation of it, right? My father set a huge precedent on what he wanted our family lineage to look like. Okay. Obviously, I was not in the best situation growing up. Lost my father at a young age, actually 5 years old, to gun violence. And so for me, I felt like I had a obligation to uphold his name, the last name that represents on our back, because there's a long list of Alexanders that came before me. So I think that motivation is the foundation. Obviously, what helps me act within that motivation, because there's action that needs to happen after you are motivated, right? And that's what's going to be sustainable. And what helps me act within that motivation is obviously being a father, seeing my son now and seeing him being impressionable and looking up to me as his hero. That's one thing that now is keeping me disciplined, right? So when I even talk about motivation, I sometimes use that word loosely because motivation become instant. When you have a son, when you have a last name, you got a legacy, you got to make sure you're disciplined to continue to sustain throughout whatever controversy or whatever, catastrophic events that may happen. So, for me, man, I think those are my 2 foundational principles that keep me disciplined over motivated, because I think motivated can happen instantly, and now I just got to continue to keep the ball rolling to keep me inspired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those words that you use repeatedly right now, talking about discipline, motivation. I sort of used to have this conversation with myself.
Yep.
What was more important to me, motivation, inspiration, or discipline? Yeah. And for me, it ultimately and always comes down to discipline, because for me, motivation is kind of external.
100%.
So what happens when that external source is not there?
100%.
Discipline.
100%.
Inspiration, I guess that's me inspiring someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between, I guess motivation and discipline's always the word.
They're interchangeable.
It's always key. Okay.
Yeah.
Coach Drew.
Oh man, my motivation is just always remembering where I came from, man, and like you said, the children, man, our kids, man, they really get us going. They make us do what we don't think we can do. Right. You know what I'm saying? And the discipline is huge, because when I was coming up, I didn't have that. Nobody installed the discipline in me. Nobody to make me do or make me understand, if I do this is going to happen eventually. Because we all want everything tomorrow. Everything we want tomorrow. But we don't know that if we stick to something, it's going to happen. And then just being around, and sometimes, like the other day, a kid ran up on me, man, at the mall. And it been happening often. Coach Drew. And I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, I don't know this person, but it's kids, they follow me on Instagram. And today at the park, a lady just came up to me and said, "Hey, are you Coach Drew Ray?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, it feels good." That right there drives me too. Like it's starting to happen. People really starting to notice. And just staying just dedicated to what I do, because it's hard to wake up every day and be stuck in the same position, man. And just like, you know, I don't have a side job to bring in. I'm just doing my stuff with my merch and the things that I have. So yeah, man, the discipline and the motivation is great. Yes, it works, and yes, it helps you. It gets. I think it's a kickstart.
Right.
I think the motivation like a kickstart, get you started. But the discipline, when you really install that into your daily habits, you become great right there. So I say discipline is number one that really gets us going too as
Absolutely.
well.
Got it.
Absolutely.
So that's what makes us feel alive, the kids, the
family.
legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
Legacy, man.
Okay.
Legacy, for sure.
I think about sometimes whether or not the men before us, because you lost your dad to gun violence.
I did.
I lost my dad to, he died from, what was it? He had like complications. He was a heavy drinker.
Okay.
So he never was in my life, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he never taught me how to be a man, how to, when it get tough, you know, sometimes we need that man. Because the mom could do it, but she going to do it but so far, you know what I'm saying? So a father, and especially when you see your father and he talk to you and tell you some things, how he went through it, or you see a manly figure, though I never had that in my life. And then the closest I got to my father was when he was dying. He was on hospice. They said he was going to die in a week. And he ended up living, man. I stayed a whole extra month. I think it was in December on my birthday. I went there and I left in January because I had no choice. I had to leave.
Wow.
And he died in February.
Wow.
And it was like, they told me he was going to die in a week. So I bought a ticket for a week.
Wow.
Thinking he was going to be gone in a week. And, you know, I had a dilemma when I was leaving. Like, do I stay?
Right.
Do I leave? Right. So I figured, you know what? I kept wanting to come back because clients.
Yeah.
My clients was like, hey, man, your dad's dying. Right. But for me, a part of me was kind of being selfish too, because he wasn't there for me when I was little. It's like, why should I be here for him right now? Like, I can go back and finish doing what I was doing. I came and seen him.
And that's a totally natural reaction. I mean,
yeah.
And I had to get out of that and listen to my mom too, you know. And then when he seen me when I stayed, he didn't know I stayed. So I came back the next day, and he put his hand up and he was like, ah! And I never shook my dad's hand like that. I never shook his hand. We never did all that. And I was like, oh man, that was cool. So I lost my dad to complications and things like that. It was sorry because that was the best time of my life when I was losing him.
Right. See, it's interesting, and I know you got a question. I know you got a question as well, but it's interesting you say that, man, because I find a lot of commonality in that story. You know, for myself, right? My father didn't choose to leave this earth, but I think your inspiration and your mission to impact children is directly reflective of not having the father. Yes. Because I've said this before. The reason I'm the father that I am today is because I always wanted to be the father I knew my father could be.
Yes.
Right? So for me, I go in with that type of motivation or that discipline of a father to understand, like, I never had mine. So why would I take it for granted when I'm with my son, right? The time that I spend with my son is dedicated to my father, because it's a reflection of him too, because he's actually looking down and seeing me act in a way where he would be doing the same thing with me. So for me, I kind of live through him, or I'm letting him live through me with my son. Yeah. So it's a little bit of, and it's funny you say that, man, of like, I never shook my dad, I never did the dap with my dad, and I never did all those type of things, because I remember when I played ball and I would see all the kids go back and they would, man, Pops, you see that? Like, you see the tackle I made? And I used to only wish. Right. I used to only wish that I can go back to the stands and see my pops clapping, because when I was number one, when I was CIF, and I was, you know, all these different things, right? All the accolades that we love our fathers to make our fathers proud for, we wanted to see. So it's just interesting, man, that you brought that up, because I can see a lot of semblance in that for myself, man.
For sure.
So yeah,
it's funny because, you know, if they've listened to previous episodes of the podcast, they know I didn't have a good relationship with my dad.
Yep.
Just recently, I've started to establish some type of relationship, and you just said you are being the dad to your son that you know your dad could have been for you.
100%.
And I am being the dad to my son that I didn't have. You see what I'm saying? So it's a slight difference, but the same thing is we're all better men. We're all better dads.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's where I was getting to with this, is that I don't understand why some of those guys back then didn't have that same drive and motivation to be better men that we have today.
I think it's because, honestly, I think they didn't have it because now we have things where as though you can hear people talking about this kind of stuff. Like, it's not a problem to be a black man and cry. You know what I'm saying? When we was little, how many times were you doing something with your older cousins and you about to cry, cry, daddy, cry. You know, now it's understandable to say, hey, And as the parents, we know now that college don't make these kids great. We know now that if they don't have a dream, they're not gonna be great at all doing nothing. We know now you gotta get your ass up and do what you gotta do.
Right.
Our parents before, it was like get a job, get married, go do. They didn't have a dream. They never talked to us about what do we really want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the kids now is different, and we're different because of that. You know, because we didn't have that. Now we got it, and we giving it to them.
But I think that's accessibility too,
Yeah.
right? The accessibility to what we have from information standpoint is completely transitioned from when our fathers and when our mothers were raising us, right? You know, I grew up in the inner city. So for me, it was, let me worry about how I'm gonna stretch this $20 for the week and before I can talk to you about financial investment or financial literacy or teaching you how to have a dream. Your dream is cool, but I wanna make sure that you understand in the time of what we're doing right now, we have to be in this reaction type of mode because we gotta survive.
Yes.
So, you know, taking those survival mechanisms and those survival tactics and now transition that over into the information that we have, that makes us the best of breed of what we do, man.
Yes.
Because now that information is accessible, and also to your point of we can be vulnerable in those states as well.
Yeah.
I can cry with my son now when when I see him down. Right before, like you said, it was survival. You can't let them see you down.
Nope.
Yeah, and that's kind of tricky to me too because you know, as I learned, because I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own because my dad wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm a black man.
Sure.
And I'm thinking that I'm raising my son as a black child.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
you
sir.
can't do certain things.
No,
You
not
see
at
what I'm
all.
saying?
No, not at
so
all.
I guess it's a fine line between
Yep.
being more than what our dads were, you know, allowing them to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
more feminine or whatever, you know what I'm
Whatever,
trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah, I understand. No, for
allowing
sure.
them to cry. Because
Yeah.
you know why they told you not to cry back in the day. Because
Yeah.
your enemy see you crying, then that you about to get an eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So now I guess in the time that we're living in, we can be a little softer if that's the word that I'm going to use.
I found, you know, it's funny because I found I had the most peace in my life when I started to show that I had emotions.
For sure.
I got the most peace I've ever had. In the instant when I started to say, you know what, Lou, start to have emotion. Start to show your emotion. Stop holding everything in and harnessing it because you feel like somebody is out to attack you. They not looking to attack you. Now, granted, there are some people in this world that do malicious things. I get it. But if I'm in this for myself, let me show that emotion and display some of those characteristics that I've never done before because it's making me be more peaceful with who I am. And I think oftentimes they didn't know who they were. Not no knock against our parents, but they didn't really know who they were.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right?
Nah,
You know what I mean?
Because that was in different times.
It was in different
situations.
times.
Yeah.
They didn't even really know who they were innately. So for them raising a kid, it was just it's an experiment.
Right.
Let's be as flexible through this process as possible because I don't know what I'm doing. Financial is just one. That's just one thing, right? That's just one factor that goes into it. Emotionally connection, time connection, all of that is things that they were troubled with, that they had challenges with. So I think when I started to find like, you know what? It's cool to just let go and cry in front of my wife. It's cool to let go and cry in front of my son because I feel so much at peace and I can let go of so much to be so much better for him.
And your son see you human.
And he see I'm human.
He see you human.
He see I'm human. He see I'm human. And now he can say, wow, man, like I know that this man is not going to, you know, reprimand me for losing, right? Because it's just a lesson. And I think that's what I love about black men, most importantly, finding that it's okay to be a little bit more, so to speak, softer in our approaches to life.
And you know, we should be. It's just that the environments that we were in didn't allow us to
100%.
Calloused us up a little bit,
Yeah,
man.
100%.
Even hard for us to speak to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
that's
hard
the-
for see another man, brother walking down the street, say, "What's up, brother? Peace, King." They mean muggy, looking mad. You know, and that's from the environment, man. You know, but it's gonna get better. In due time, they take one by one, man.
These
It takes
conversations.
a village, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've asked the guys before what was their word. My word's progress. I think I don't know if I asked you last season what's your word, but you know, time is something that I don't really put a lot of emphasis on because I know we're moving forward. Not at the rate, because like you said, everybody want everything today.
Yep.
But we're moving forward.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
our kids are going to be better than we were, and so
Oh
on
my
and so
gosh,
on.
man,
And as long as
100%.
that's happening, man, we know we're doing our job.
100%, man.
What's the greatest challenge you've ever experienced? Let's talk about mental challenges and physical challenges. Coach, you can go first on this one.
The greatest challenge, mental and physical. Mentally, I think it was just trying to build this and believe that I could do it, man. My whole life I've been quitting on so many things, man. You know, I think that doing what I'm doing right now, with very limited help, you know, I really, because we don't do nothing by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot by ourselves.
Right.
I think that was the toughest. Physically, besides letting you beat me in that card game,
you don't want to talk about that. But,
physically,
he talk about match me and beat me. We'll talk about I got it right here. There you go. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to
it.
it.
Ain't gonna get me next time. But look, physically, man, I think staying here in California, going through all the adversity I went through,
Right.
I think staying here and after all the times being in different roommates' homes, trying to figure out to finally having my own place,
Right.
to stay here.
Right.
I think that was hard, man. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. I wasn't really having any clients. I just believed I was gonna do it. I didn't have a side job. I think I picked up a side job later on, and it was only for I said no. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stick to it. So I think that trying to stay here and do this every day and make this a thing that I do.
You like to use the little quote on most of your Instagram posts, even when you hit me up in a message at the end, be great. What does great mean to you?
Never giving up on your dreams and never giving up on the things you're doing and just going hard every day. And even if we fail, just never backtrack. You know, just be a great person to people. Be a great person to yourself, whether you're around people or not around people. Behind closed doors, outside. When you're gonna say you're gonna do something, do it.
Are you living your greatness?
I'm doing my best I can.
No. Are you living your greatness?
Yes, I am.
There you go. That's a yes.
Yes,
I'm
I
doing
am.
my best. You are. Because I was thinking about you the other day, and I'm just like, you know, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
And I know some of your stories, your trial, your tribulations, and I'm just like, this dude is really living his greatness. Because I like to refer to a lot of shit as like game oriented.
Yeah.
So if this was a character that you chose, this character is supposed to endure what you're enduring.
Yes.
And you're still here.
Yes.
So you're living your greatness.
Yes.
Your greatness may not be driving a fucking Mercedes, living in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Because that's not the character that you chose.
Yes.
But in the character that you're in right now, the shit that I know you're doing with these kids, the stuff that I know that you've been through, that's great.
Yeah.
Because if you had stopped, if you had quit, if you had died, that would be failure.
Yeah.
Not that
100%.
anything's wrong with failure, that's part of the process.
Right.
But you're living your greatness, and I need you to realize that.
Yes.
I was like, this, you know, me and my brother, we get in a couple of arguments. That's what family siblings do. But anyway, one of the things he likes to say is that everybody's thrown. Everybody's fucked up. It's just that some people know how to handle it or deal with it better than others. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I say that to say that the people that are not still here, they weren't able to handle it.
Yeah.
They were not able to live their character. They were not able to live their greatness.
They
So you're
dropped
living
it.
your greatness, dude. Continue to do what you're doing.
And
That's
I
huge.
thank you, man.
That's
I
huge,
appreciate
man.
that because
That's
I
huge.
look back at a lot of stuff, right? Honestly, what make me realize a lot of things, I sit back and look at videos and I see where I came from. And then I think about times when I couldn't even pay a certain amount in rent. And I think about certain stuff and I'm like, man, you all right, man. You've been living out here.
You
You've been
leveled
doing
up.
this. You've been doing this for like 7 years now, man. You
Right.
solely doing this. You don't have a bunch of the other incomes. You're doing what you love to do. Every day I get up and I love to do this. So it's not hard at all. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? So you're right, man. I am living my dreams, man, and living my
Success
greatness.
is in the giving, man.
Yes, for sure.
That's how you live forever.
For sure.
And you
100%.
already know.
Yeah, for sure. I know that. It
100%.
feels so good to get back, man, and
100%.
to, especially when you get these young boys, man. They play football. These young girls, they play whatever sport they play, and you go visit them. Because there's times I've given out a lot of free stuff, man, and I see these kids. They don't have it, but they have it in their heart. You know what I'm saying? They got the grades. They have everything. They're all intangibles. The only thing they missing, they got a single mom who busting her ass to pay. So I'm like, I make a deal with the kids, and the 90% of them fly through with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's so to see them do it and then go to college,
Right.
and then go to NFL or go to NBA or anything that they want to do, or even just become great men and great fathers to their family. I win. I never asked them for money, man. I never asked them for nothing. Don't give me nothing. If they choose to do that, that's on them. But I love to see them win. You know what I'm saying? It breaks my heart when they fail, and
That's
I see
it.
them like,
Yeah.
and now they in the street and stuff, and I see them again. I'm like,
Yeah.
we gave up.
That's the satisfaction, man.
You know what I mean?
That's the satisfaction. No, that's powerful. That's powerful.
So you,
Man,
mental, physical challenges.
yeah, I think for me mentally was really tapping into the psyche of myself, understanding that the race that I'm running is nobody else's race but mine. I was so caught up in this world of thinking that my race was everybody else, and I was setting everybody else's benchmark to mine. Everybody else's benchmark was here, but I didn't realize that mine was unlimited, right? And so getting over that hurdle of understanding that I can have things in abundance and I can have things exceedingly over that abundance, that's when I started to really tap into truly being who I was mentally. And that was the hardest thing that I had to go through mentally, is believing that there was more to Lou Alexander than just what I thought.
Why do you think it was such a great challenge for you to believe that you could do whatever you want to fucking do? Why is that a challenge? Is that because of the world we live in?
It's a lot of factors, right? I think the world and society tells us that you have to be siloed in this one discipline and you got to be exceedingly great in that one thing. But why can't I be great in so many other things? Why can't I be a great football player and also be a great businessman? Why can't I be also a great businessman and also know a ton about aviation? Why can't I know a ton about aviation and know a ton about venture capitalists, right? There's a lot of different things that I can be great at, but society tells you that you can't because you don't have enough time. Now, granted, we got 24 hours in a day, but it's how you compartmentalize things in your life to maximize on those times, on those things individually. So for me, it was literally starting off with, what are the things that I'm putting in my life and prioritizing in my life over others? And then once those things started to compound and I started to prioritize the things that were actually important, I started to see that, wow, it's just me. It's nobody else. Everything else out there is telling me that, man, Lou, you know what? You just got cut from the Saints. You just got cut, bro. What you gonna do now? You gonna go be a trainer? You gonna go to be a teacher somewhere? What are you gonna do? You gonna follow the mode and myth? And I'm not saying that a trainer or a teacher is not great things, right? But I think that's what they're expecting from me, right? You know football, so go ahead and do things that you know. But when I started to tap into myself and understand, man, I went to Syracuse University. I got a great degree and I got a ton of great networks. Let me start to be curious enough to ask the questions of, what did they do to get to those places? Why am I limiting my beliefs because I think I'm only a football player? And so when I made that transition and I started to have those conversations and being in those backdoor meetings and understanding what they were doing behind the scenes, now I start to believe that, wow, I got so much value to offer outside of being on the field, where I can just take the discipline and all the things that I've learned on the field and I can structure that and put that in a whole nother space. And now that energy is going to help me thrive in that space. So I think that's what helped me mentally, man. It's just really transitioning my mental of knowing that it's just my race and it's nobody else's. And then I think physically was just losing.
Hold on, before you go physical though.
Yeah.
Talking on this mental topic.
Yeah.
I think it's so challenging,
Yeah.
but so crucial, so very important for you to understand that this is all about you.
That's it.
And your
That's
perception of things.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Facts.
That's it, man. Because if it wasn't for me changing my perspective and understanding that I was the one, right? It was Lou Alexander that literally dictates the outcome. And then I can go even deeper than that. I started to plant within my subconscious, not my conscious, my subconscious, right? Because our conscious words can tell us one thing, but they don't align with our heart, right? So I started to tap into my subconscious because that truly dictated and had the recipe for my success. Because I can say one thing, right? And then all of a sudden I act in a certain way and my belief system is completely opposite. Now my belief system is actually what's going to trigger the outcome. It's not the conscious words that I'm speaking. Everybody can say that they great, but do they actually believe it? And that's when I started to really understand that when you plant into your subconscious, I'm talking about whatever fiber in your being, when you feel it tingling in your fingers and you know that greatness is within you, then you start to see greatness. But if you halfway just into greatness and you tapping your toes in, Greatness is just going to show up halfway like you show up.
So you just planted a seed that you didn't water and nurture, so it died. But when you
exactly.
plant it and you nurture it, and your every
Exactly.
fiber, as
Got
you
no choice
said,
but
your
to grow.
passion,
Exactly.
is it, then it will be.
Exactly. Why we so busy cultivating? We always say this. Let's cultivate these relationships before you cultivate the relationship with yourself. Right? Cultivate your relationship.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are you?
It's this saying that I used to always think about.
Yeah.
You know, when I was coming up, and it's something to the fact of a poor man can't help nobody because he can barely help himself, so to speak.
100%.
And I say
100%.
that to say, that's one of my little favorite sayings, is once you realize who you are, once you realize your greatness, then you're able to see that in other people.
100%.
Because everybody's not at that level yet. Everybody has the potential to be great, but everybody's not great yet.
Yes.
So when you've learned your greatness, when you've accepted, because you have to accept it, you have to acknowledge it.
Yep.
Once you accept your greatness, then you can be like, okay, this is what my greatness entails.
But that's even action that you need to put forth in it as well. Accepting your greatness is not only clarifying that you accept it or claiming it, right? If somebody tells you you're great, what's your response? Because I know a lot of us always be like, man, I'm just trying to do what I'm doing, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's the easiest answer, because I want to be humble, bro. You're great. You great, man. Bro, I'm trying, man. I'm doing what I'm doing. And you trying to really dumb down your greatness. But I promise you, and this is no arrogance, this is nothing. But when people come up to me and say, Lou, man, that was a great speaking engagement, man. You changed my life. I said, I know.
That's why I came here.
I know I did, because you know what? My mission was to do that. I've already clarified and I've already accepted that my greatness was here. I just wanted to pass it on to you. And you know what? I'm glad that you understand it now. And I'm gonna tell you directly, you damn right. You damn right.
So here we go. So let's talk about this humble word, because I've never been a fan of it. It's
man.
like, if you're not humble, then you're cocky and arrogant.
What is
it? I just know what I can do.
Yeah, I'm confident.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a difference between cocky and confident.
I was mentoring a female friend of mine, and I was talking to her about how much she's achieved.
Yeah.
And like how she should be loud about it.
Yeah.
And she was like, nah, because when you start to talk about it and people start thinking you cocky, and then you start getting bad energy from everybody. And I was like, it is something in people directing all this jealous, low vibration towards you.
Yeah.
But if you know who you are, you have to stay in line and around people that don't do that, so that you can maintain your high frequency.
Yep.
So I say that to say, you have to acknowledge, you have to accept your greatness. You have to not be humble about it.
Yeah.
No,
For sure. Yeah.
You have to not be humble.
Yeah.
And I think,
because that's contraindicated.
exactly. But I think where humble gets lost, right? I think where people think about humble and they think about arrogance, is two different things,
Way
right?
different, yep.
It's completely different. Somebody can say, hey, bro, you great. And then all of a sudden you treat that dude like shit, or you treat that girl like shit, right? That's a difference. That's arrogance. That's thinking that you above everything that comes in front of you.
That's low energy.
That's low energy. That's you moving at a frequency that's low. But being, the lack of being humble is really just replacing with high frequency of confidence.
Yeah.
My dad always taught me, even when I was a little boy, man, walk with your chest up. Walk with your head up. I remember that to this day. My dad died when I was 6 years old.
But
I still remember that to this day. Man, walk with your head up.
Yep.
You know who you are. Walk with your head up. And that's not being arrogant. That's being confident and understanding that, listen, there's a job I need to go do right now. And I need to understand that every day I walk, people gonna see that my job and how I impact them, they gonna know that that's the alpha in the room. That's the dude every single day that's gonna come in this room. I can rely on that cat.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's why you walk with that. It ain't no arrogance, man. That's just you know what? That's being confident.
And knowing who you are, man.
Knowing who you are, brother.
Ain't nothing wrong with being like humble, man. Like, ain't nobody need to be humble, man. Speak what you do and love that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a difference though from somebody that's maybe shy, and they get into this and they might start blowing up. They might really feel that way. But one thing you need to do is that humbleness is going to get you trampled over.
Right.
Like, you don't need to be humble, but it don't need to be arrogant. You know what I'm saying?
So
it's a real
fine
thing.
line. You
I
gotta
see
learn.
you just took out my mom. It's a
You gotta
fine
be
line.
you gotta be grounded.
Yeah.
You gotta be grounded. You
Yep.
know, like you saying, you gotta be grounded. You gotta understand, you know, how to be grounded and know that this shit can be taken away in a snap of a finger, right? And that's that grounded. That's you coming back to it. But there's nothing wrong. You know, I'm a big believer, obviously, in faith, you know, for me personally.
No, for sure.
And, you know, I mean, God is literally the center of my life. So he propels every situation for me, right? But as I go through any mission, it's like, no, I'm going to always stand firm on the belief system. And that belief system is, like you said, stepping into that greatness, man.
One more thing. You're saying being, like people say being humble. You can't just sit there and just be humble. You have to go out and be hungry.
Yeah.
That's what you have. Like, forget humble, be hungry every day. And imagine this, right? You're doing everything you love to do, and you're killing it. Well, you feel like you're killing it, right? And then all of a sudden, don't nobody never tell you. Then you like, am I really doing good? Like, don't nobody never say, hey, man, hey, you made me have a great, I heard your podcast. Hey, man, that man had me like, you know, if nobody never tell you that, you're going to feel like, so when they tell you that, absorb that shit.
Absorb it.
Absorb it on it. You don't got to be like, yeah, I'm the shit. Yeah. No, you just be like, you go home and be like, damn. I know when somebody acknowledge that they know me, I'm like, damn. Like right now when I see him, I'm like, oh, shit. Like I know my man. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a beautiful feeling. Probably feel good for him too. Yeah, and I could have been arrogant, like, yeah, I ain't had to say nothing. When I see somebody, like I tell you all the time, I love you, brher. That's the thing I say to people all the time. I see the people in the gym that I see every day. Before I leave them, I seen them for 6 years. I've been seeing them. You know what I tell them? Shake their hand. Hey, have a blessed day. I love you guys, man. Yeah. That's what they tell me back now. Hey, I love you, Coach Drew. Have a good day.
And I just want y'all listeners to know that we have grown into this. It took time for us to get here.
Yeah. This ain't no overnight.
What we're trying to do is give you some jewels right now, so it don't take you as long as it took us to figure this out.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if you get this right now, you can already start moving toward more greatness,
100%,
other greatness.
100%.
But just know that hungry, not humble.
There you go.
I like that.
Based on what Coach Drew said.
Yes, sir.
So speaking about, how do I want to transition into this? Fuck it. Will Smith. It's an old topic. He over in India somewhere right now getting his counseling. What are your thoughts on this? Is he going to bounce back from it?
You want me to go?
Man, I mean, for me, look, you know, it's crazy because I don't know anybody personally in this situation.
Right.
So for me, I don't understand, you know, what they feel emotionally, what they going through mentally, spiritually.
Right.
All the things that can really be implanted in them to help him lead up to that instance that we all know of him smacking a comedian, which is Chris Rock, you know. But I would say this, for me personally, that's not the way I would have handled it. And my wife wouldn't have expected me to handle it that way. Right. So for me personally, I know that I don't care about, we go back to our conversation, arrogance. There's something inside of you that made you feel like that was right. Somebody cultivated that in your spirit. Somebody pushed that in your spirit to make you feel like it was right. And I get it, right? People say that there was a long list of jokes that's been running, you know, on Jada Pinkett from Chris Rock. There's a lot of history. Do I believe in 100%? Absolutely not. Are you supposed to stand up for your wife? Absolutely. But again, it's a time and place for everything.
Right.
And that's all I would say on that is just there's a time and place for everything. Right. And I think that wasn't the time or place, especially for us.
Right.
For us. Because what does that look like if you and all of us, right? Once we blow up and we make it to this place or we continue to blow up, let me even say not once because we are already there, but once we get to this place where we're on this high praise value network or whatever you want to call it or platform, and you say something, you know, I know you, I look back in 6 years, you having this conversation and all of a sudden we build a connection and you know something personal about me. And let's say, for instance, you say something just to make a joke out of it. I'm not going to slap you. I'm going to pull you to the side and say, hey, bro, you know me. Dog, you know me for 6 years.
Talk to him.
Don't you ever do that in front and make me feel humiliated, bro. Because you know how much we've been through. Right. That's how I would have handled it.
Sir.
So I think for me personally, again, that's how I would have handled the situation. I think wrong is wrong.
What do you think? You think Chris Rock did well on his side as far as how he responded?
He did better than me.
Hell yeah.
He said that again.
He did better. He did better than me. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we talk about the humble and stepping into your greatness. I would have stepped into a great ass whooping on that stage. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, he did better than me.
Yes, sir.
But I think as a man of so much, we're talking about discipline and composure.
Yeah.
Whew, He's displayed that.
Yeah,
Hey,
hats off to that.
Sure.
He did
That's
better than
most
me.
deaf.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm from the South,
Yeah.
and I think there's this word my wife likes to use, chauvinistic, when you're sort of trying to impose the male.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, that's just where I'm from. I work on it.
Yeah.
I work on it. And I think in a relationship, you know, once you agree to this relationship, there needs to be positions. In the military, there's a fucking captain and there's a lieutenant.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? There's a sergeant, there's a lance corporal, blah, 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 blah.
100%.
I feel in that relationship, it's not really established who's who.
No.
Of course it's not.
No.
That's something they've been doing.
And I'm a big energy person.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know them, but I know looks. You know what I'm saying? I know the looks that I see coming from, and that they're not the right looks.
No.
Like my wife's not gonna look at me a certain way.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Those the looks that no.
It's different.
You know?
They got something different going on over there, man.
So I'm just like,
But she laughed though.
yeah. But you want to speak on it. We ain't gonna spend too much time on this.
It's gonna be quick with me. He said enough. He said a lot of shit like perfect for me. Will Smith was totally wrong. He could have. That's his boy. That was his man. He could have waited and could have pulled it. He could have walked up there and said, "Hey man, I appreciate." He could have did that right there on the spot if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But he could have wanted to check him on the spot, check him. But he know him good enough that he could have did that later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for the fact that if you gonna react like that, then what was the laugh for? Get your ass up and go react like that. That's my reaction. If I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna get out right from the jump. It wouldn't have been funny for 2 seconds.
Right.
But he was wrong. Chris Rock is a G. Playing it hands down, he did it better than me because I'd have bopped him up in the head with that microphone, bang, 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 with the microphone or something. He should have but he did that for our, and that was again for our people. That was a great thing not to respond because they would have expected it. If the shoes would have been flipped and 2 white dudes would have been doing that, it would have been different. Right. But Will Smith, he was totally wrong for that. Jada, wrong. There, he's a comedian. His job is to make jokes. That's the point of what he does.
That's it. Period.
It's his art. You just solidified it. It's his art. And he's on a platform to display his art. Right. Just like you go on screen and display all the movies you are. You're not truly I Am Legend in character, but you know what? That's your art. Right? Like, so where within that art of Chris Rock, of him displaying that and making a joke, it makes it okay for you to go up and say, you know what? I'm gonna slap you in the face. That's literally telling you that I completely disrespect you.
So obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in that relationship.
A lot.
This red table talk where she's sitting down,
A lot.
talking. I mean, yes, your business shouldn't be out on the table like that.
For sure,
that's not how we
yeah.
do that. So that's a whole nother dynamic. I mean, what they say, they gotta, you know, they're famous, they're rich and famous, so they don't really have any privacy or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That's how they're going at it.
That's
but
on them.
That's why
there's a lot of people rich and famous that got privacy.
Right. So
100%.
right. So
100%.
Okay. What about this latest racial attack? What was that? New York?
That Buffalo, that's the Buffalo out there. Yeah.
Man, that was crazy.
Why it's so crazy? It's just the next one.
No. For me, yeah, absolutely. I think it hit home for me. Obviously, going to school in upstate New York.
Right.
Having people that's in Buffalo that I know that I'm close with, that are white and black.
Did you feel numb to it?
I didn't.
Did you react to it as long as you think you should have, or did you was like, oh, okay, and moved on?
I don't think there's a perfect explanation for that.
I think,
right, but I think this is my opinion,
okay.
Right? Like, I've been seeing violence for a long time,
right,
in my life. Seen people get murdered for a long time in my life, right? My own best friends, my father, right? Like, I've seen that. I think social media, obviously, has created a norm.
Because there's some shit that should not be on social media.
Around fatalities. Fatalities. It's a norm around fatalities now, right? It's normal to say, hey, another group of people are dead. Black people are dead, right? It's easy to report on it. It's just, let me go ahead and vulture more stories, right? And so that's what I'm seeing from it. Where I say it hit home for me is because I went to school in upstate New York. I went to Syracuse, which is about 2 hours from Buffalo. And knowing people that are out there and knowing where that Tops is. I know Tops Supermarket. Right. I literally talked to my wife and I said, man, that was at Tops. We used to go to Tops in Syracuse all the time. Now, why it hit home and the reaction hits home for me, because again, it goes back to, that could have been somebody I knew, or that could have been me. I could have been in that connection. And
so what are we sad about? We're sad about the fact that people got killed. We're sad about the fact that there are actually white people that feel like they should go kill black people like that.
I think we sad that. I think the fact that we sad
That's a
that
conundrum,
this shit
boy.
happens, that it happens. Period.
That's
that
all I say.
It's so
That's
sad that no matter the race, it's sad that people do this shit. And then it always happens in places where they don't have the gun law. A lot of times it happen in places where they don't have a gun law, where people they can't carry. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody walk up in a place where they can carry, they know in Texas, go ahead and shoot in Texas.
Right, exactly.
Somebody right there got a gun too.
Right.
See, that kind of shit happens, but you can't take now. We can't say, hey, California don't got a gun law. So look, let's make they can carry in California now. They're not gonna know how to act around here. See, these kids in Texas and Colorado and places like that, they grow up with this. So a gun is nothing special. Out here in places that don't have it, if they make it gun laws legal, then it's gonna be worse. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna know how to react. Everybody gonna be happy.
I do feel that if it was in a situation or a place like you said, like Texas, has there been a mass shooting in Texas?
I don't think so.
It will be less likely to happen.
Yeah.
Because first off, this is a fucking cowardly act.
Yeah,
first off.
for sure.
No, for sure.
For you to walk into a supermarket or a church
and unload.
And unload. And then I saw a scene. I know you can't believe everything you saw on social media, but he ran up on somebody behind the counter, and it was a white guy. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then proceeded to go ahead and kill more black people.
Yeah, like that's crazy. To me, man.
Unfortunately, we live in this shit,
Right.
and it's been going on for a long time.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Right.
and that's why when I look at these things that's happening, I'm gonna just say it. Excuse my French. The fucked up part about it is that it happens so frequently that it's a part of our history and our future. We can have these conversations and talk about them every single day.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. I find myself every year talking about a racial attack or some racial injustice or somebody getting killed here or the police doing whatever. This shit is so ingrained in our country that they are creating this desensitization around it. Because everybody is vulturing for stories around it, because you know why? That's our history books now. Instagram is our fucking history book.
Yes, it is.
It's our history book. Let me go back into the archives and show you what's actually happened. Let me go back to what Sean King was talking about on his pages. Let me show you what's happening in Kenshaw. Let me show you all these things, right? And I talk so passionately about these things because this shit is just starting to get in a place where I feel personally, is there even a way to solve this problem?
Is it a solution?
Is it a solution to it?
Ain't no solution. I don't think it is, bro.
Or is it just like I gotta really react
You
to?
know, I think sometimes.
Or can we have metal detectors in stores? But that's gonna have people taking long as hell to get in. But that's too much, right?
I think sometimes that.
This is crazy, man.
Ah, man, I lost my thought. Where was I going? I lost the thought.
But let me get you, since you lost your thought real quick. It's a what you call it? It's like a fad, man, for the white people, because they're doing all the shooting. Remember we was young, Columbine.
Right.
That was like the first real like mass shooting like that I remember.
We was young. You was young.
Hey, I'm on. Well, we was young. But look. But listen. But that was, and then remember after that, more school shootings came around. Social media here. The guy that shot in Buffalo, that ain't the first store that shot up. It was the people that did that in another place too. Walmart had it, other places had it too. These kids are seeing it and people posting it. Somebody home doing it. I blame it on some of these parents who don't check on their kids, who don't be worried about them, and just let them do what they do. But this stuff right here is something that he was inspired by somebody doing that shit.
Yeah, he had the other guy's name written on his rifle.
Yeah.
So tell me this: you think they do this for the to be famous, popular?
Yep.
So I was saying the first thing they should do when somebody does this is take away their name.
Yeah.
Give them a number. Don't have nobody repeating your name over and over again on the media.
Yep.
Because that's kind of empowering to a crazy
Yes, it
person.
is.
Yeah.
So give them a number. First off, we're not gonna respond to you as your name. Your name will not go down in history.
You're number
You don't
three.
have a name anymore.
Yeah, call you 33
You
or
just have a
something.
fucking number.
Yeah.
So that would take away from what you trying to, because like the martyrs are the ones that used to blow themselves up or blah blah blah. And they, but I'm saying that's one of the first things I thought. These kids or these people are doing this because they think their name's gonna live on or it's going down in the history books. This white man did this for his white people. Take his name away. Take the names away. Don't give them that power that media and social media and the coverage gives them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the first steps you need to do. As far as that, we talking about solutions, because you had to have done it because you was trying to get a rise out of somebody.
Yeah. It's been just too many. It's just been too many stories, man.
It's just a cycle,
and it's a cycle, and it's happening. We get 6 months, we get 9 months,
in another 6 months,
and we
expected another one.
You know what I mean? It's like it's turned into an expectation.
Right.
But I think I'm gonna even go deeper than that, right? Because that community, that's not my problem, right? My community is our problem. And I think on the flip side, we talk about social media and we talk about all this about killing and taking names. Is what happened when a rapper posts or somebody says, man, my boy just got killed. All these rappers getting killed too. These rappers is getting killed daily.
Left and right.
Left and right. From us. Now listen, I understand it's two different things. I'm not arguing that. But what I worry about is, what are we doing to change us too? Right? Because we got a hand in this shit too.
Okay.
And and that's not to make it, again, I'm trying to make controversial, just wanted to more so bring enlightenment to that. Sure. Because on social media, we posting the same shit. Lil Kiki just got killed, or this dude just got killed.
So we talking about rappers right now killing each other, and the lyrics that they speak in these songs that's supposed to be for entertainment.
Yeah.
Jay-Z just assisted some type of bill being passed in New York where the rapper's lyrics can't be used against them in court.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of not being responsible, because if you want to live this lifestyle and talk about it and be about it, then you should be able to live up to the fucking consequences that come with it. I know you're going to say, well, actors shoot up people in movies and that ain't real. But I don't know. It's kind of. I know they're gonna say a rap song is just a song. But I think that music and the way you listen to music is different than the way you look at a movie. And I think maybe the younger kids, they're more influenced
by the music. Yeah,
because that's like somebody that you I see Al Pacino on the screen. That ain't me.
Yeah.
But if I hear fucking Kodak Black, that's
us.
So he just did that. And he's still alive and he's still rapping about it. So I don't really know if I'm a big fan of that bill being passed and the rappers not being held more accountable for what they say.
I'm for sure with that. Honestly, because it's already, they talk reckless now. And everything's about killing people and doing stuff. Ain't nobody got nothing positive. So
ops,
with that, ops is all about the ops. Nobody got a real inspiring. It's only a few artists that you could really name that's kind of inspiring. And we lost Nipsey, so that really hurt a lot of stuff. That hurt us a lot. You know what I'm saying? We lost DMX, that hurt us a lot. But these young guys, man, when they do something, some of them rapping about shit they really did. And a lot of them got locked up for doing that stuff. You see, and all these young boys, they're gonna tell on each other anyway. So as soon as one get caught saying something in the song, it's gonna be connected to this song and that song by Jay-Z doing that. And if it get passed and everything, or did it get passed? You said it got passed? If it get passed, these kids gonna get worse. They gonna say, they gonna be really rapping about
what they did.
And they gonna tell you, and then you gonna find out the murder was just like they said in there, but you gotta throw that away.
Right.
So ain't no way in hell that shit go by.
So you're not being held accountable for your actions.
No.
I'm not a big fan of that.
That don't either.
No,
right.
Because I can't go around and talk about all the shit that I did in the past and then not expect any consequences.
Right. That's how I look at it.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
I can say the worst shit. You can say the worst shit in the world.
I can say the worst shit in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And really mean it though.
And really mean it.
Just so you get likes and sell albums.
So you can, but again, that's what I'm talking about. This is reflective of our culture.
Yes, it is.
That's what I'm talking about. We control the media. We control and when I say control, I mean our content, not the behind the scenes. Our content of what we give to people and distribution companies, they control that, right? But we control what we give them, and we're feeding them.
Hold on. I understand what you're trying to say, but this media thing it's a whole nother machine.
No, I get it, but what I am saying, again, there's a behind the scenes and there's people that are controlling the media. But what I am saying is that the content in which that we create, the media capitalizes off of our content.
Yes.
That we create. We hold the keys to it.
And if we don't create it, they'll create it.
How though? The story is not going to be as transparent. You think another man can tell your story better than you?
I think that
Hell no. Nobody can tell. Nah.
okay. So you saying we need to stop telling this story?
No, what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, that bill is saying tell your story. Tell your story. We just gonna monetize more off of it.
Right.
Tell me how many people you didn't kill.
It might pass anyway. You know why it
Tell,
might pass?
tell me. I'm gonna accept it. I'm going to accept it with open arms because it's just like a good film. I can sit there and watch it and I can listen to it all damn day because it's not a world that I'm exposed to. Why do you think so many people are so gravitated to our stories? Nobody's gravitated to they gravitated to self-made. They gravitated to that, right? They gravitated to somebody that say, damn, I used to sell dope back in the day, and then all of a sudden I didn't convert it to a big time business mogul, and now all of a sudden I'm a multi-billionaire. That shit is more exciting than someone coming in and say, man, my mom handed me down a whole bunch of different stock options, or dad handed me down a whole bunch of different. Nobody's selling that.
Right.
This shit sound good, but nobody's selling that.
That shit is good.
It is good. I'm setting my I'm creating my son future like that, right? You know what I mean? But again, I think what I was saying about the content perspective is we need to control our content and understanding that we're pushing a narrative down to the younger generation for them to understand what's acceptable in their hoods. I get it. I grew up in a hood. I know what's going on. I grew up in a Crip neighborhood. 2 streets down was a Blood neighborhood. I know what it's like. I understand it, but at the end of the day, I will be remiss not to talk about the positive shit that is happening in my life now, outside of just focusing on all the negative shit to sell a story.
Speaking of that, right? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
But like we said, we lost Nipsey. So in that process, you listen to the album, he giving kids and people life. He breathing life to us. How to make $1 million while you're young.
Come on, hold on now.
Even though he's still saying like these rappers, they just kill. Even though he do talk about killing and stuff a little bit.
There were stages with Nipsey. He grew into the man.
Yeah, he had to grow into that part.
Yeah.
But even when he was on that last album that we got from, he still gave, even though he was on this gangbang shit, he still inspired us. That he made you forget you driving sometimes. You put on blue laces and you forgot you was driving. You thought you was in the car. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So these dudes don't really do that like that too much. And the ones that do, they don't really give them that outlet to go. It's guys out there that got music like that, but they don't give them the outlet to go. And the ones that, like King Von, let's say King Von. I was just talking to a young kid the other day. I said, man, King Von is just, he was a pawn for these guys. He talked about killing people every song. Right. And what happened to him right away? He got killed. I said, y'all young boys don't really understand the energy y'all bring to yourself. The hardest thing to do is stay out the way. The easiest thing to do is have a problem. Man. And then all y'all gonna do is go out there and y'all talking all this shit like y'all the only ones with guns. Yo, half of these rappers is chumps. And then y'all sit there and y'all believe them, and then you go out in these streets and think that it's like that. No, buddy, just because you got a gun, dude over there do too. And you judge books by their cover because you think that, oh, that old dude over here, like, he a sucker, or this young guy right here, he dressed like a buster, I ain't worried about him. But no, it's not like that. This is the streets, brother. You don't know what that dude been through.
And I think you just hit the nail on the head, bro. There's a huge disconnect between the streets and the media and what's actually real. What's fabricated and what's not. There's a huge distinction.
Hell yeah.
Coming from where we come from, we know what the streets look like. I know what it's like for my cousins to go at the top of the cereal box, at the top of the fridge, and go pull a whole bunch of cocaine out of it. I seen that with my own eyes. Right. These kids not experiencing that shit. They don't know what that looked like, right? But you know what? The music is telling them that they know what it looked like, and now they're giving them the power to say, man, I can go and kill me somebody.
That part right there.
Let me go kill somebody.
Yep.
Now I can go kill me somebody because this shit's sweet. Right. This shit's sweet out here, but then what happened when they get a gun and they go into somebody, they run into a real wreck?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yep. Either they gonna get killed or they gonna kill somebody and regret it the rest of their life.
Exactly.
And their life.
And now they locked up.
For life.
And this is the last story I share. I know a dude I grew up with, and when I moved to Palmdale, my 11th grade year, I was 16 years old. Never forget this. And Palmdale was nothing but Caucasian at the time. This is when Palmdale was on the rise to become like, more black people was living out. This is before the Section 8 had moved everybody from Nixon Gardens to Lancaster. It was just low key, right? It was nobody out there. And I'll never forget this dude, man, and I won't name his name, but I'll never forget this dude. I met him when I was playing football, and he would listen to all this gangster rap music all the time. He was a mixed kid, right? He had a white mom, black dad. And he would always ask me questions about, man, what it's like to live in the hood, man. Talk to me about it, right? And I'm thinking, okay, he just want to know where I'm from. Cool. And we talking through it. Cut a long story short, we've transferred a couple of years. I come back. He ended up coming and encountering with some dudes from a hood from LA called Shotgun. He ended up coming and encountering with them. He ended up getting put on the set. He's a gangbanger now. Mm-hmm. He's a gangbanger. I want to be a part of this crew, right? So now all of a sudden, he riding with these guys or whoever they are. Yep. They get a robbery, they kill a couple of folks. He's on the scene. Mm-hmm. He now gets taken in.
Yep.
For attempt murder and murder, right? So now he got 2 cases on him. He 19, 20 years old.
That's a wrap.
And I'm talking about he lived good. Nice house, mom's dad, great job, investments, everything. Just found out, one of my guys that's a CO, just found out that dude doing 21 years to life.
Yep, that's that shit.
Because he wanted to think, he was feeling intrigued about the life.
Right there.
Y'all not connected to that. Why y'all, the dudes that's connected, we trying to get up out of
that shit. Talk to me, man.
Bro, I ran so damn fast when my mom said, look, we leaving. I said, you know what? It's hurt because from a football I wanted to say, but I said, you know what, Moms? I believe in your decision.
Hell yeah.
We up out of there. We gone. Getting out of that shit, man. So
we've left that. Yeah, we're not talking about that no more.
Hey, but let me say one more thing real fast about what you said, because that shit you just said at the end with the kid that had the good life. I'm gonna tell you this. Number one thing, suburb areas got more hood niggas than the hood ones do. So that's the crap. I be going to the suburbs. I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers out here, like they act like they got it bad as shit. They hustling and shit. I see little young boys selling coke. I'm like, yo, your mom and your dad got a job.
I'm like, what you
like? I knew my cousins and my brothers and them did that shit. You know, at the time I did it too. You know what I mean? Selling drugs and shit. Like we trying to get by. But it's like, come on, dog.
It was survival.
You was survival mode. But y'all got it good. Y'all and the rap they listen to really got these kids pumped. Like, you'll go to one of these preppy little schools and you see these kids walk around, and you like, what the fuck? Like, and you see their parents, you like, and they pull up in a nice car. I'm like, yo, my mom was pulling up in a squatter, like a putt-putt, you know what I'm saying?
A bucket.
And we trying to make it happen. We eating hot dogs cut up in the beans, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these kids is nowadays, I swear, all the suburb kids are the ones that's going to jail for life at 17.
Even more reason these rappers need to be held accountable.
Exactly, for sure. That part.
I'm sorry.
got these suburb kids talking about what up, Slime.
Let's get back to fitness.
Let's go, man.
But it's still a little darker side of fitness because we got a lot of bodybuilders that have passed away in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a cardiac thing, the heart.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
supplements.
I guess it's like live like a lion or die like a sheep.
Supplements.
You think it's the supplements that do it? It's not the stress, it's not the workouts?
Yeah. I say it's supplements, man. All these dudes want to be buff so bad that they take supplements.
So real.
Steroids, or whether it's testosterone, or even like every time we talked about it, we seen people on Instagram all day, and we be like, oh, this motherfucker, they ripped up. Come to find out, they be on their next video you see, they taking a powder, they taking this, promoting that, they doing all this stuff. Ain't nobody really natural. I mean, I know you. I've been knowing you forever. You like a cartoon figure. You like like what they call them, a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, man, but we talk about this stuff because I really believe it's the supplement. These people don't want to do the hard work like running. Right. They don't want to do the cardio part of the working out. They don't want to do that. They don't want to eat right for real. They want to eat right sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So they take the shortcuts. But in the long run, them damn shortcuts catch up to you. Right. If you do everything natural and you be real to yourself, I ain't saying don't take vitamins. Right. I ain't saying don't take your little vitamins and things you need and eat right.
If you taking a fucking pre-workout and it's giving you the jitters, that's not right.
That's not real.
No, if it's making you feel like, if it's giving you the jiggers and making it feel like your sugar content is dropping or is exceeding above, it's not right.
They don't know shit about sugar.
They don't know
All they know is they tired. They need a pre-workout. Go to sleep.
Get more rest. It's funny, man. Like, I'll tell them, and this is a part of my story, so and y'all can't see it under this sweater, but the boy is swole, right? But I lost 100 pounds, right? And I was 340 when I came out the league. Mm-hmm. And people asking me, man, what would you take? You was taking fat burners? You was taking this? I'm like, bro, I worked.
Put in the work.
I was running 4 or 5 miles a day. I was putting in the work. I was eating the right things. I was eating clean. I'm natural. I wanna feel good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that shit gonna make you look good. But if you don't feel good, then what's gonna happen? Somebody said this, man, on something I was listening to, and it said, people treat their body like cars. They put turtle wax on the outside, but then in the inside of their guts, it looked like it's beat up.
Yep.
Somebody that pulled up all the seats. They got cloth leather. They over here rolling a GLE 350 on the outside, but the inside look like a Pinto. No seats or nothing.
Yep.
But I'm like, man, are you actually taking care of internally your body, fleshing out your system? But also, are you understanding your body? You so committed to everything externally, and that's why I'm thinking a lot of people are passing away to supplements. You bring up a good point, because these dudes I've been hearing dehydrating themselves,
right? Because they trying to get that fucking look, that grainy look, and you already depleted. You already got all the water out of your body that you can get out, and then you taking it to the next level, and you think your shit's supposed to still function like it's supposed to function. But see, that comes back to, you know, whether you want to live like a lion or like a sheep. I mean, if this is what you do, how much are you willing to give to do it, to be the greatest? How much,
it ain't for me.
You gotta just stay. You gotta stay natural, man. It's just stay dedicated. They don't understand. Like we said, they go back to everybody wants something tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody want them looks tomorrow. A lot of these dudes, they was working out, but they couldn't get the results they wanted because they wanted it tomorrow.
I was talking to my neighbor. You know, I meet her at the bus stop when we're dropping off the kids, and she was like, "I got a quick question. What's calorie deficit again?" I was like, it's you giving your body less calories than it needs to stay the same. You just come off some of the calories. But think about this, I told her. I was like, you ain't fucking 25.
There we go, right there.
You ain't 25. And half the shit you looking at on Instagram ain't real.
No.
Why are you chasing that?
No.
That's not your greatness. To look like you did when you was fucking 25.
No.
What are you good at?
Yeah.
Focus on that. Now be healthy. Go to the doctor, make sure your blood pressure, your cholesterol, all that shit is good to go. And if it's not, fix that. But why you worried about looking like you fucking on Instagram model? Why you worried about that right now?
No, it's funny.
You married, you got kids. Why is that your focus?
It's funny. Oh, right. It's funny you say that, because my wife and I, we joke all the time, man. And shout out to my beautiful wife, man. We joke all the time about it, because my wife literally is just blessed proportionally, right?
Okay.
Like, she's just blessed, right? She got a body, like how they say, what's T-Pain say? She got a body of a goddess, right? Like, and it's natural, right? And I laugh at her because she on Instagram and she'll show me a fitness woman, and she like, see, I want to look like this. And I say, look, all right. I say, first off, babe, look at her belly button. You know, they see all these little small belly buttons, and you know they got the BBLs or whatever. Now, granted, look, if a girl want to do something or whatever, listen, I'm not against it. I understand.
What's a BBL?
So it's a Brazilian butt lift.
Okay.
So what they do is they take out they transfer the fat
to the booty
and to the butt, right? And so to lift them up and make them look, you know, a little bit more good in pants, right? They upscale them a little bit. And I laugh, and I was laughing at my wife. I'm like, man, I said, babe, never chase what these people are doing unnaturally, and you got it natural.
Right.
I said, they can look like this on Instagram, like to your point, but they paying for it.
For sure.
They paying for it with money. I said, you
and
guys.
they gonna pay for that shit later
on.
Body.
I said, but what I'm saying is that they buying they results.
Right.
Yep.
I'm like, you naturally gifted already.
Earning yours.
You earn it. You can eat a couple of days right and you straight. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's just crazy how people are going in this fitness world of, let me just try to look the best, but I'm gonna pay for my body. I seen a dude with implants, and I said, bro, y'all got thigh implants?
Yeah, bro, they got chest implants.
Bro, chest implants, thigh implants. I said, bro, I cannot believe this. What is our world coming to?
We fake, bro. We are fake. We are Lego, man. These dudes out here, they got fake pecs, man.
So instead of people trying to find their greatness,
they buying it
and maximize that, they're trying to turn themselves into something else that they're not.
A Barbie doll.
Yes. That they're not.
Yeah. They want to be a Barbie doll.
They want to be a Barbie with a big ass. They want to be a Ken doll with a big chest.
It's got to do with the chemistry in the body and dopamine and all that shit, because you're getting all these likes and you feel good, blah, blah, blah. You know, I guess that's why you do it. I guess I was fortunate. I was blessed to never have to get my dopamine from people's, you know, cheering me on, because I was always, you know, my mom gave me enough self-confidence to know I was good. I was confident.
Yeah. That go back to the beginning though. Like, yeah, that you knew what your greatness
So
was.
what we saying is they're not getting that. They're not getting that from the beginning. That they, you good.
They probably here, but everybody wants something tomorrow. Everybody want fat. So a girl, right? She'll get a fake ass, right? A girl will get a fake ass, and what she do? All of a sudden, she want to work out, sweetheart. That's not going to work. You got to know how to work out before you get that ass.
Right.
Because a lot of them getting this fake butt. And like you said, you hit it on the nail. You said the ass look good in them pants. So listen, that you just want the look, and then the legs be bony as hell. It don't fit. So my thing is this: everybody want that quick turnaround instead of saying, you know what? How many people really sat down and grinded their ass off for, like you said, you was grinding, you said you was 3-something, grinding for like what, you said 3 years or something like that?
I was on a quest to lose 100 pounds 2.5 years.
See what I'm saying? But he grinded for 2 years. He didn't look at, 3 months from now, I'm gonna, no, he looked at, he said, yo, this first 6 months, let me see what I can do. That 6 months, he probably hit another 6 months.
Yep.
Got to a year, he said, yo, fuck it, I'm already here, let me do another year.
Yep.
But how many people take that time and say, let me grind this out and see where I get to?
Never.
They run right, because it's so easy, right? It's so easy to go get all this fake stuff, all the fake eyelashes and everything, man.
All I gotta do, I gotta say, you gonna get that shit done now. You gonna look good for a year,
And be angry
and
later.
then it's gonna be garbage because it's
For
not
sure.
real. Your body's not gonna process the way it's to be processed. So right now they're giving it all so they can get all their likes and get their money up, and I guess they're gonna spend all that money later when they gotta go to the fucking doctor and get fixed because they changed the shit.
But that's what it's all about. People found a way to monetize fitness in the industry to upscale it even higher than what it's been in the past, right? So what they have been really selling and consumers are buying it is they're selling a facade, right?
For sure.
And it's selling because there are impressionable human beings in this world that believe that they can.
You mean sheep?
Yeah,
There you
and
go.
sheep,
There you
right?
go.
But the thing is, right? But see, us, right? As we're talking, we're not the consumers. We're curators. We're sitting in something you created, right? This is what we're sitting in. This is your creation, right? He's sitting in something that he's created. I'm sitting in something that I've created. We have lost this consumer mentality, so it's hard to sway us. Like you can't sell me. You can't sell me because I know what it is to create, and I understand the process. A lot of people that's easily swayed into the results that they're seeing from these people is because they don't know the process behind the scenes.
Yep.
So it's the first time of them actually being exposed to, oh wow, this is interesting. I can get a body like this in 6 weeks. What do all those infomercials say? Take my supplement and you can look like me in 6 weeks for $19.99.
Hey, but we do say at the back though. They say for $19.99, but it will cost heart attack. You would die tomorrow.
So, but tell me, we talking about longevity or performance? Which one's first? Which is most important to you, longevity or performance? Longevity. Is that something that you think you say because we're older now and we're really focusing on
I think longevity because the performance is going to get you that longevity. I think the performance that you're going to do that you put in is going to help you keep it going. I think longevity, because if it's performance is fine, but if it ain't going to last, what you doing it for? You want something to last. Whatever you're doing, like whatever your dream or
I guess what I'm trying to say is.
Go ahead. I was gonna step into that, not to cut you off. Every great boxer is why are they great?
Because they were able to last for longevity.
Right? So you can perform longer. Every football player. I knew if I was gonna get to the fourth quarter, and I see the D tackle breathing over himself, and I know that he couldn't go another down. I got him. I'm about to come off the line and hit your ass so hard. Running back gonna jump right over me. And I got that on film too, by the way, against SC. I got that on film too. And we can check those records right in MetLife Stadium. But it's longevity. So condition your body to go longer than it is to, because I'll take a step further. Longevity is what's gonna give you the performance.
Yes, sir.
That's gonna give you the performance. So why not have the longevity?
And I say that, I asked that question because I want these young boys to think like, I'm training because I want to be able to do this for a while.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna be doing this stupid shit. I ain't gonna be lifting this super heavy weight that's crushing my joints.
Yep.
I ain't gonna be taking these supplements that's fucking up my kidneys.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to stay as natural as possible. You gotta think longevity.
Yes, sir.
I know it's kind of hard to think about that when you fucking 20, 23, 24, because you're talking about right now. You want to go.
Yep.
But you gotta think longevity. Now again, like always, we just dropping these jewels for these young folks.
Yeah.
So you can get to where we are a lot quicker than we got there.
Absolutely.
So
And the right way.
longevity over performance.
Yes, sir.
But longevity is gonna get you to performance.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything else on longevity and performance?
Hard work. Just keep working hard.
That's it.
Right,
That's it, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So we all on IG. We've been talking about that. Who's your fittest on IG? I know we seen we can't pick none of us. We can't pick ourselves. All right. So who you follow on IG? Who you think is fittest? Yeah, your fittest on IG.
That we worked with? Because I gotta work with them. I don't give a fuck what they did on Instagram. I gotta have, if I ain't work out with them, I don't care.
Okay.
So I see some dudes in here doing some stuff, but I like, hey, these motherfuckers like
on Instagram,
and
you do this shit for like 3 reps, and you good.
Then you get with them, and you like, well, what happened, dog? Like, I
Yeah.
shoot my videos, but I do my 10 to 12 or 10 to 15, whatever. I do mine.
Right.
You might did 3. So the fittest, I'm gonna be right. Since I can't use you, and I never worked out with you, I know you get busy. But we can't use nobody in the room, and I can't use my man because he in the room too. So, I'm gonna say for me, it gotta be 2 people, man. It gotta be out of because I work with my boy Mike, man. I'm gonna be real, my boy Mike Bradshaw get busy. I don't care what nobody say. Like I worked with that dude, like we work out. So he get busy. I'll give Mike Bradshaw a bunch of love on that.
What's his IG tag?
It's Mike Bradshaw Senior on Instagram.
Okay.
So Mike Bradshaw Senior on Instagram, check him out, man. He get busy with Team Train Hard. And then I could say I got one more, man. Because it was a tough one. My boy Luther. Soul of a Man Fitness on Instagram. Luther get busy. He got that. He like a. I don't want to say what he is because every time I mess up, I know he high in ranking.
Right.
I think he like is a commander high in ranking. Like he a big dog. I don't know what he is, but he a big dog. So I don't want to mess up. Because last time I messed up, I threw him low. And he's like, bro. He said he made the rules. So I was like, all right. So
he in the military. That's what you said.
There you go. So it's Soul of a Man Fitness. Find him and find Mike Bradshaw Senior on Instagram, man. I'm telling you, these 2 guys.
Okay, so they're the real deal when it comes to fit.
Since I can't use my man T, my man Lou.
Thank you. So who you got fittest on IG?
Fittest on IG for me, it's crazy because I push out content on IG, but I rarely consume on IG.
Okay.
But I say when I do go to IG and I consume information, who I look because I feel like our journeys are so much similar. But he's just really extreme though.
Right.
With his journey, it's David Goggins for me.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he tough.
David Goggins
Super
for me
tough.
is by far the fittest, and I think not even from a physical standpoint, from a emotional, mental standpoint, he's fittest. Now, what he shows on Instagram, he shows a very fit display and aura, which I'm like, wow. But I think he resonates with me because obviously the challenges that he put out, he's doing them. He's doing them with the people that's doing them, right? I think his weight loss journey, it was just like myself, right? Like, if people see before pictures of me and then they see me now, they're like, okay, I get it, right? So I think for me, I would go with David Goggins for sure.
That's a beast-ass pick, too. He a monster.
Yeah, he a monster.
I love that dude. He a monster.
He a monster, man, because he just do things where I would never, I never knew what an ultra marathon was until I started to look into what it was. And I started to see, wait, this dude ran 100 miles?
That's ridiculous.
This dude biked. This dude swam.
It's the pull-up joint he did.
He did. What is it?
1,000 in a day?
1,000 in a.
I mean, I read his book.
You can't hurt me. I read that as well. But it's amazing. But I would say for me, he's the fittest for sure. 100%. He's opened my eyes to fitness in a whole nother way.
I can give you that.
Than all the other guys that I think that we already talked about earlier on the podcast that's paying for their results. He's showing me that he's just putting in the hard work. That's it.
I mean, that's a hard one in the top. We had a question earlier in the podcast where I was asked, I guess you guys answered it. I didn't. What was your most challenging physical and mental challenge?
Yeah.
And I was going to say my most challenging physical challenge was David Goggins' 4x4x48. I did that.
What the hell?
Yeah, I did that a year ago.
Yeah, that one crazy.
And, I'm a military. I'm a Marine guy, so I done
yeah.
done some tough shit. And second to the Marine Corps is the 4x4x48 as far as my physical challenges. But that's 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Yeah. So realistically, your body's not built. Your body's not made to do that. So at the last couple of levels, you really start to get fucking,
Mentals.
you don't got enough sleep. So now you got to continue to push through it because I'm the type of person I finish it. Yeah. So no matter what happened at that point, those last 8 to 12 hours was gonna get done if I had to walk those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most challenging physical activities I've done. Speaking about David Goggins, which is that's a fucking unicorn, once in a lifetime.
No, for
Unicorn,
sure. He
you know,
is.
unicorn.
Definitely.
So here's the thing though, David Goggins is a bad motherfucker, but David Goggins is good at speaking as well.
No, for
But
sure.
that's why I said
Yeah,
that.
'cause there's some motherfuckers,
So that's
yeah,
why. So that's
yeah.
why I preface it that way, right? Because I'm a motivational speaker. For those that don't know, obviously, and I introduced myself to it earlier. Now that I look back, but you know, I speak motivationally,
Right.
inspiration. I'm in the job in the world of inspiration. Like that's my job, and I look to other people to be inspired.
Right.
And a lot of these speakers, just like fitness, right? We have a lot of speakers that are selling a story. They're selling a facade, right? They're not truly speaking about what they've been through. They're just speaking to get a reaction, right? So cool. But with David Goggins, and why I kind of draw my alignment to him a lot, and I look for him only for inspiration on the speaking end too, is because he would say something and he will show you exactly what he's saying,
And that shit is
and
big.
he will also have somebody else on the journey to validate what he's saying to be true that he's done.
Right.
So like for me, I'm like, okay,
Don't tell me, show me.
don't tell me, show me.
Yep.
You know, I started a line, Big Ass Jogger, and it was basically around being your biggest self at whatever you do, and it was for people that just wanted to feel inspired to run, crawl, walk, and jog 2 miles a day, and I used to post videos, inspirational videos of me on mile 3. Running. Just
yeah,
like,
yeah, I
you
know the
know,
miles. I've
you
seen
know,
them,
so
yeah.
it's just like, and I used to show people in that process. I'll post after I'm run, like, hey, here's it. You got a 255-pound man running 8:23 pace of a mile, right? And then I run a half marathon. And I had people run a half marathon with me. Now I'm about to run my first full in December. So it's like, show me.
Right.
And that's why I say David Goggins, he's just most alignment because he definitely shows me in my space.
Right. That's very unattainable for most people.
Yeah,
So if you want to,
yeah.
be more attainable, but David Goggins beef, no hands down, definitely much respect. I think Kevin Lowe, Kevin Lowe.
Ooh.
That sounds familiar.
That's my fittest.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one.
Because I think he's like a total package.
Yeah.
Speed, strength,
Yeah.
flexibility.
Yeah.
I think he's a total
Do
package,
everything.
and I'm real big on pound for pound, so to speak.
Yeah.
So Kevin Lowe, IG, most of y'all probably know him already, but that's my fittest on IG, and that's why I think he's one of the fittest, because he's an all-around pound for pound great athlete.
Awesome.
So what are you currently investing in? Because the world's crazy right now with the stock market and all this shit. It's
Yeah.
just like, wow.
Yep.
But it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's real all the way through. It's everything's down. So you invested in anything right now? You got any little tips or somebody? What you got?
So right now, currently, I'm in a couple of things. So one is real estate for me.
That's real. Real estate, the shit you can touch. That's always going.
Real estate is the number one thing I can touch, and I'm in a multifamily and a duplex game. So for me personally, I'm trying to get more than 4 units, right?
Nice.
What does that look like for me? That's longevity, that's equity building, right? That's sustaining some type of foundation that I can pass on to my son where he can run, right? Obviously, there's different markets that I'm looking into, upstate New York, looking into Raleigh, North Carolina right now for a couple of properties as well. So that's like my main thing. I think on a stock market standpoint, I always call it the trifecta. I look at logistics. When I say logistics, I mean transportation. So obviously, transportation, big rigs, all that, box trucks, whatever the case may be, whatever you into, and then stocks, and then real estate. That's my trifecta. Those are the 3 things that I invest
So
in.
stocks, real estate, and
Transportation.
transportation.
Yep. And I'll say on the stock world, I'm solely just an index, and I do a couple. I'm in clean energy space right now.
Okay.
So I've been looking a lot into clean energy. I try to invest in things that I know is needed in our world, right? So for me personally, I look at clean energy, whereas we're going into this world where obviously oil prices are skyrocketing. So for me on the back end, looking at oil prices that are skyrocketing, I see that there's a play where people are trying to go more green. They're trying to go into things that makes more efficient for our environment, right? That tells me that that's a problem. So if there's a problem that's there and companies are trying to solve this problem of eco-friendly, there's companies that are being built around that, so I'm investing in good companies that support that.
Got it.
So those are kind of like my things that I'm invested in overall. But to your point, stock market is
Yeah, we won't talk about
Going
that for the
down,
most part. This is the bull market. Officially, it's bear. Officially,
bear
bear
market.
market.
Yeah.
Everything's on sale if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
What goes down must come up. What goes up comes down. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So
Yeah.
if you got the finances, the resources to play the game, everything's on sale right now. So go get.
It don't take a lot to invest.
Right.
Like we sit here and talk about investing. You got $200, $300 that you're gonna spend on some sneakers.
You want the habit too.
And exactly.
Yeah.
If you got $200, $300 to spend on some sneakers, you got $200, $300 to put towards the stock. That can make you $200 to $300, right? It's like going back to the consumer mindset versus the curator. Start to create for your future. So yeah, to your point, stocks is one of those things where learn about it. It's easy. I would encourage, where I got my start is investopedia.com. Go there, and it'll give you stock trips one-on-one, and then also watch CNBC.
And again, the technology for you guys, it's just so simple for you to do every damn thing from the phone. So get involved in the stock market. This NFT, Bitcoin currency shit is new. Yeah. I know it's a little shaky right now, but I don't think it's going anywhere. One of the questions I always like to ask is what's the last book you read, or what's the book you read right now? The last book I read was NFT handbook. Because that's a big thing. The virtual world is coming. The meta, all this stuff, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's the type of things I'm invested in. I'm doing a lot of stuff with these cryptocurrencies, these NFTs, and I got the transportation type thing going as well, the real estate. Yeah. I'm doing this at 48 years old. I'm speaking to you, so you get on this shit now, okay? Because time is like that. The sooner you get on it, the sooner you got bank, the sooner you sitting somewhere talking on the podcast like I'm doing and not worried about where your next paycheck coming from.
Yes, sir.
What you got, Drew?
Right now, I'm investing in my business, man. Investing in and my children. Right. My daughters, they doing their thing with the track. Some of the top in California right now. Congratulations to them, Layla and Zoe, going
the
to
Ray
the States.
Twins.
Yeah, they're going to the Ray Twins on Instagram. The Ray Twins with a Z. They just made states, so for California, that's huge, and they sophomores, so that's big.
Huge.
But I'm investing in them and trying to teach them how to do teaching them how to do their own business, so they don't have to worry about mine. But if they want mine, I'm teaching them how to believe in it, and I'm investing in me, because I used to be scared to invest in myself, man. I ain't gonna lie. Every time I'm like, I want to buy something, I'm like, nah, I won't buy that. But now from my business point, I'll buy that. I'll buy it for the business. I know it's gonna help me generate more currency for myself and my family. Once I catch up with that, then I do want to get into. I do want to try to tap into some real estate and things like that.
Don't switch to real estate like what you
I don't want to just switch.
I was about to say,
because that shit.
We can't overlook that, man. Because that's the big.
You invested in the fucking kids legacy, the family.
I want to get a. Like me, I want to get it. Like I see the building. This is my vision too. I want to get my own building where I got my stuff and everything like that as well. Right. So, people don't be scared to invest in yourself, man. And it's big time, like it's scary, but
no risk, no reward.
There you go. No risk,
you gotta do that shit while you're young.
Reward. So just go hard.
Take a couple chances.
Yeah. And
failing is part of the process.
That part. Yeah. And like I said, building my brand up, my shirts and some clothing that I want to get out. And people like that, because I train so many athletes, man, and I know they'll wear it. I know. When I was an athlete, I would like to wear some cool stuff, you know what I mean? And we always supporting Nike and all these other companies and all this stuff, and we could do our own thing.
I got this funny thought, not to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
But everybody's got a brand these days. Everybody's got a brand. And I've sort of continued to push my brand, still successful, because this is what I do, it's my passion, it's my hobby, so to speak. And I always appreciate the support. But I'm just thinking, like, I know this guy got a brand, this guy got a brand, this guy got a brand. What if we all just made one brand and all put our talent behind that one brand? I just see it being able to move so much further, faster than everybody working alone and individually.
For sure.
Because that's just where we're at right now.
But you got egos in the way. You'll probably have some people that be like, I'm down for that.
I understand that's
like,
part of it.
He gonna make this much money and that. If everybody get the egos out the way, that could work. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the way that successful people do it. I mean, you got to all be behind one goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a real ultra successful guy, man. He told me, he sat me down and he said, it's funny because what's wrong with your generation is no one wants to play their role. If I'm on a scene and I understand that one person is the guy that is going to control the narrative of our space of whatever we're doing, if I need to go get him water, I'm going to go get him water. Because that's my role.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to make sure I'm maximizing on that. And I think to all of our point, to your point especially, is let's get behind one brand and push it, right? But can you get enough people that are trying to get behind that brand and push that
hard.
brand? And if they are not the guy, are they okay with accepting being not the guy? And what I mean by that, right, is that's all subjective, being not the guy.
Right.
You can be the guy that go out and go get the water. There's guys behind the camera, as we see right now. That's the guy that's actually running this entire thing to make sure that this is going. So without him, this shit in our conversations don't happen. Right. So I agree with you.
So again, another jewel.
Yeah.
I know y'all all want to have your own thing, but it's just you're splitting your resources. You know, you gotta get behind one thing and push it hard, make that shit big, and then once it's where it needs to be, then if you decide you want to split off and do your own thing, so be it. But I think that's something that you want to address on your path to greatness.
For sure.
It's just try to, a lot of y'all do a whole lot of different things, and if y'all come together and push as one, you'll get there a whole lot faster. What's that little saying? Like, if you want to get there fast, go alone, but if you want to go further, you go together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some African proverb, something like that.
Like you said, everybody gotta know their role though, man. You gotta know, like, just because you get in the water don't mean you less of a person than somebody that know what's going on. You gotta know it. Like, you gotta know it. You gotta know what part are you great at.
Right.
That's gonna make all this work. Cause everybody can't be the person that know
everybody can't be the chief.
There you go. You can't. You know, we all gotta work together. But when people figure that out, that's when you see things excel.
Right.
Especially amongst our people too.
Right.
Like when it's all of our people. Like, I was just talking about FUBU the other day. I was like, man, how didn't FUBU sell? I'm like, man, it was for us, by us, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
you don't think FUBU sold? I thought FUBU sold.
No, it's sold, but when you wore it, like but when you wore it, people was like, that's FUBU. Like, like people try to play funny.
Right.
When we should have been like, hell yeah, boy, it's FUBU. Right. What you mean? For us, by us.
It started off hot, obviously.
And we let the world before social media tell it was trash.
Yeah. Right.
But we wear polo and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like we see each other, people will come up, right? We'll come up, say we blow up, right? We already blown up, but we blow up and we making millions of dollars, right? I know him, I know you. But people will run to Nike and go buy unlimited gear.
Oh yeah.
And won't buy a thing from nobody or from none of the people that they know to blow them up. Even if you ain't want to buy nothing, you say, yo, here go 10,000, man.
Yep.
To start your stuff off. You know what I'm saying? Here you go, to help you out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't do that, but we'll spend that money on a Gucci shirt, on all this other stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Is to take a community and each one to help each other out, man. That's super big, man. That's a lot of reasons why a lot of us don't blow up too, because we don't help each other out, man.
100%, man.
I mentioned earlier that the last book I read was the NFT handbook. What's the last thing you read?
Last thing I read was, I think it was The Way of the Superior Man.
Okay.
I think it was The Way of the Superior
Man. That's off Nipsey's list, right?
Yeah, I had to go read that. Read that, and I think was it that or Hustle Harder, Smarter? You made me read that one. I had to read.
That was 50.
That was 50.
50 was good. Yeah.
That was super good. I think they were the last two books I read.
Okay.
And honestly, man, that book was very knowledgeable.
Which one?
The Way of the Superior Man. Both of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get on both of them, but The Way of the Superior Man, I think women should read that too. That's a good book, man. I read it twice. Right. And just the things that it say about a lot, not only just about your mental, about like how our sexual drive is too, on how we are with our woman. You know what I'm saying? And how the women are with us. And it talk about how a feminine man can't be with a masculine woman, or a masculine woman can't be with a feminine man. You gotta have a balance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that balance in there. I mean, my fault, I said that wrong. A masculine woman can't be with a masculine man.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? It gotta be opposite. And in this world nowadays, you got a lot of feminine men.
Yeah.
You see women pumping their own gas while the dude on the car chilling. You know what I'm saying?
So lazy ass.
Lazy motherfucker.
There
you go. You know what I mean? So, and then I read the Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Right.
It made me get off my ass too. Like, come on, man. Like, well, especially when you see somebody or know somebody like a 50 that came from the bottom, and he really came up, and all the grind and all the success that came with all that grind. It just made you like, I can make it too, man. So what, I ain't do this, and so what, I didn't do that. I can make it too. So that was the last two books that I read.
Got it. What about yourself?
So the last book I read was Don't Drop the Mic by T.D. Jakes. I'm always trying to work on speaking in certain tactics. I treat it like football, right? I got to put in certain hours to, really perfect my craft and understand, how I'm captivating my crowd, how I understand transitions, different things like that. So Don't Drop the Mic by T.D. Jakes was huge for me because he also paralleled it with don't drop the mic in whatever you do in the world, right? The mic is a, so to speak, an analogy that he used for your entire everything that you do. The mic can be your business, right? But if you're in position to talk about your business and really drive your business forward, don't drop it. Speak with that integrity about your greatness in your business. And so obviously the metaphor of don't drop the mic relates back to speakers because we physically have a mic in our hand. So I read Don't Drop the Mic, and currently I'm reading Multi-Millionaire Families. Okay. So multi-family millionaires. I'm sorry. So it's about multi-family homes. Okay. And how to start from literally inception to actually closing a multi-family contract and investing in it long term.
What's your window on the first project? 'Cause I hear you already gonna make that happen. I can hear it in voice and when you're talking about it. So what's your window on you getting the first duplex?
What's my wonder?
Your window.
Oh, what's my window? Oh man, I'll get my first duplex probably within the next 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, we are close. So
Nice.
I'll have a duplex probably within the next 2 months. And then the goal is to have 4 properties by February of next year. So that's the timeline.
And you decided you wanted something. You started to educate yourself on doing it, aligning yourself with what it needed to take to make it happen, and then voila, you created it.
Well, it's crazy because I took a risk during the pandemic. I worked in corporate, and I didn't get this part of my story, but I worked in corporate for 8 years. When I left the NFL, I went right into tech. Right. And I've grown through the tech business. I started off as an individual contributor, which means I was a guy calling, knocking on doors, selling a product, right? And I grew into leadership where I now oversee a team. But instead of me buying and consuming so much stuff, I saved well. I started to save well, but then I started to see money in the bank account and it wasn't doing anything. So I took a risk during the pandemic, and I literally popped up one day and I told my wife, and she can validate the story. I said, let's buy a house. She said, what? I said, let's buy a house. She was like, where? I was like, you know what, we can look. And she's like, I don't know what the market is, blah, blah. I said, let's buy it, let's look. So we started our house journey. We ended up buying a house during the pandemic. What was so great and what was such a blessing, right? That was God telling me at that moment, bro, go ahead and buy it because this is going to be fruitful later on. Mm-hmm. We bought our house. Prices were still low. We found a distressed seller that just wanted to get out. Mm-hmm. Sold us at the bottom of the market.
Beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. Now we end up transitioning, and 2 years later, we 200% above what we bought it.
200%.
Not 100%.
200.
200%. So we doubled our money. We doubled our money. Probably almost tripled our money, to be honest with you. And so these things in real estate is called comms, where it takes the collective of how much every average home around is selling for, and it basically places your house of what it can be evaluated or appraised at. So the comms in my area was a certain number, and it was about, in at the time it was about I would say $600,000, $700,000 range. The comms in my area now is $890,000 to $1 million, and we bought our house well below that. Right. So
but now
we can leverage equity from that, and we can go and diversify ourselves and place into other properties.
No risk, no reward.
No risk, no reward. So that's the window.
Paid off. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
Because you need that capital.
You need it.
It's like points in the game.
Yep.
You ain't got no money, you can't make no moves.
That's it.
We're gonna finish up with this last question, because we gotta get home to the family. And that's gonna be: is everybody the GOAT? Everybody say they're the GOAT. There's a lot of GOATs, and should it be the GOAT or a GOAT? What are your thoughts on that? Does everybody that claim to be the greatest of all time?
I don't think that's for you to say you the GOAT. I think that's for people to tell you that's for people to say to you. I mean, you always supposed to feel like you're the best. Right. Fuck you doing it for if you don't feel like you're the best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's for other people to say, yo, he the shit. Yeah. Like you ask that question, who we think the best fit is on IG. Right. That's not for that person who we picked to say that. That's for somebody like us on the outside to see that body of work that they've been doing and knowing where they going. Yeah. Because we could look at each other. You might not feel in your you know you're gonna be somewhere. You know you're gonna be somewhere, but you might not feel it as much as I see it. Right. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I might be like, dang, man, hey, you doing your thing, ain't doing, but you might be like, man, I gotta work a little harder. You know what I'm saying?
So everybody's the GOAT, but it's not.
It's up to I think everybody the GOAT until you say you're not. You the best. You gotta say you the best, and you gotta feel that way and walk that way and talk that way. Mm-hmm. Now let everybody else tell you that. You know, let them give you that tag and stamp it on you. Mm-hmm. That's my thing.
Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think he said it perfectly, right? we are all the GOATs of us, right? Like we walk through and we are all GOATs within ourselves. We are all the greatest of our times because no one's made us and no one made a carbon copy of you. You are who you are innately. So we are all the GOAT. But I think when you transition into the media realm of things and you try to validate yourself in this world of whatever discipline that you are in to say that you are the GOAT within that discipline, I think that is you just having that belief, but I think it's, to your point, it's up to the people to decide that. I can go out into a speaking engagement and say I'm the GOAT at this, but at the end of the day, it's the people that validate the Eric Thomases, the Inky Johnsons, the Trent Sheltons, the Ed Millett's, all these guys that are speakers that I can go ahead and keep going on and on, that they validate in their world that they are the GOATs. So I'll say it like this in front of the camera. I'm the GOAT of my shit. I'm the GOAT.
That's right.
I'm the GOAT of my shit. And if anybody else don't believe that, that's okay. I believe it. And then I inspire and I push forward to be the GOAT for others.
And I asked that question because that's just how I wanted you guys to answer it. You have to understand that you are the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You are the greatest you of all time.
Yes, sir.
But if you're going to claim that fucking title, live up to it.
Yes, sir.
Every day.
It's there.
Yes, sir.
It's there. You can be the greatest of all time. You can be the greatest you of all time.
Yep.
But if you're going to claim it, live up to it. Reach your maximum potential. That's what you came here for.
Yep.
That's what you came here for.
100%. 100%.
Got anything else, fellas?
Just be great, man. Just keep loving life and doing what you do. Never give up. You know, never give up. Every day gonna be hard. Some days gonna be better than others, but never give up. Because the minute you give up, your blessing waiting for you on the other side of that wall. So never give up, man. And we live in proof, man. We came from the gutter. So, and we here. We still doing it. God is good, man. Like you said, God is the foundation of everything I do too. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta keep believing in you, keep believing in God and your family. Everything gonna work right, man.
Absolutely.
End of the day.
Absolutely.
Last words, Mr. Lou?
Last words is understand that happiness is the true currency. We believe that chasing a promissory note, a tangible money, a piece of paper is what currency. But if I'm not happy and if I'm not at peace, I can never exchange that currency with nobody else. So understand that happiness is the true currency. And how you exchange happiness is what's going to create and compound the currency that you already own within yourself. So that's my last words.
I don't really have to say that again, but I will, because you really need to fucking get it. Happiness is the true currency.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't say it better, dog.
I think when I started to write the notes for this podcast, it was health or happiness. I told my wife, which was most important.
Yep.
And she lost her brother a couple of years ago because he decided that he was gonna roll with happiness over his health.
Yep.
You know, it was his last couple of years. He knew he was on his way out, and he was gonna spend his last couple of years being happy.
Yep.
Because happiness is the true currency.
It's the true currency, man.
I've realized long ago that it's always about being happy. That's why I don't stress nothing.
Yep.
I don't do the stress thing.
That's
It's
it.
not worth it.
That's it.
But outside of that happiness being the true currency, you need to add some peace to that. Because when you find true peace, it's a fucking rap.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You spoke about peace earlier.
Yep.
It's a fucking rap when you find it.
You gotta find it.
And I can't sit here and tell you what your piece is, but I know what my piece is. And now that I got it, can't nobody tell me nothing. Ain't that what Kanye say?
Yeah.
But with that being said, man, it's always a pleasure. I want to thank you guys so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Episode 3, Season 2, Good Hurt the Podcast. Lou Alexander in the house.
Yes, sir.
Speaker, Coach Drew Wade.
We here.
Coach of all coaches.
Let's go, baby.
Doing this thing. Myself, Coach T. Good Hurt. I love you. I thank you. Be good. I'll be good at it.
Yes, sir.